Hey guys, Team PK back again. Here with Daniel and Josh. What'd you guys do?
So we played the same list for Orcust at the Saturday and Sunday store championship events at GG's. I got first place and he got second place at the second one. Playing the same list, card for card.
Alrighty then. So what did you say, you play Orcust?
Yes.
Alright, let's get into the list then, shall we?
So it's pure Orcust. It's just like still very good, very like sort of like stunny. We just all of your turn one combos play around Nibiru is pretty sick. So you, 3 of this card. Only 2 Nightmare. You only need 2. I think 3's kind of weird because you can't summon it from deck anymore. You don't want to draw it, but like you need to keep this card in circulation so that you can do things. So 2's perfect. 2 Symbol. You're grinding a lot now, and because you have Gizmek in your deck, you need the second one. We played 2 Bombard as well. I think this card sucks. I liked it. Yeah. Well, it's good if you draw it and horror, obviously, like draw it in an Orcust and then it's like full combo. But like, you can't summon itself, and it also doesn't summon Wand, so it's just kind of awkward. But I don't know, it's fine. It's just like another extender. It just means that you can make Galatea through Ash Blossom, so it's not a bad card. Gizmek for obvious reasons. 3 Scrap Cycler, Armageddon Knight, and Grepher. So we're playing any more of these. These are all like your 1-card combos. Well, I guess Grepher is like a 1.5 card or whatever you want to call it. This is like you turn 1 full board for just one of these. It's pretty sick. I was originally playing Mathematicians, but we cut those at the last minute. But yeah, these are fine. These are all good cards. For the hand traps, play 3 Ash, 3 Nibiru, and 3 Impa. So the mirrors with Thanos is up till the morning of Saturday, and then Chen told me I was a moron and I should be playing this card, so we put this card in, and he was
a moron.
Yeah, he was absolutely correct. This card is insane. Like I bricked a game super hard against Salad and just opened 2 of this card. He couldn't beat me, so it's just kind of sick. Yeah, so this card's very dumb. Surprisingly enough, the Babel interaction with this card doesn't come up that often. You tend to just like hit him with it and then leave it on the board as a 3k beat stick. It's generally fine. 3 Cosmic, 3 Instants. This card's really dumb. So if you go first, you do your like the normal combo. You end on doing Window, and like Window's 5th summon, so you can't get Nibiru'd. And then like no deck can beat that. Several people just conceded to Window Ding.
Hello.
Yeah, it's just a very dumb combo. 3 Return. This card reads draw 2.
Draw 2 full combo.
It also helps playing your hand traps.
Also plays through hand traps, and like when you do your normal combo, like your very standard combo, you end on like Dingyusu and like a horror or a nightmare in defense mode. So like even just opening this card with no Orcus, if you open combo, is more than fine, because you'll just like at the end of your combo after you've used everything, you can return it for draw 2 to draw interruptions, and it's just like very good at every stage. We'd never play less than 3, and then just 1 Babel. These cards. This card sucks. This card is awful, right?
Every time it was in the hand, I just had either only 1 monster, which was my starter, or I just had no extension for it, or I already had like the Bombards. It was just in there to like kind of deck thin, but we could replace it with so much more.
Inferior is just another extender.
Yeah, it'll probably just become what, like Upstart Goblin or something, maybe later.
And card destruction might be cool.
Yeah, and then Crescendo. You don't get this turn 1 anymore, that's bad. So the extra deck is really funny. Link Kuribo for the Bombard. Wii Witch's Apprentice. Feel free to talk all you want about Wii Witch's, Chen.
So Wii Witch was like the ideal like 15th card pick. We just didn't know what to put in, so I was like, Wii Witch is a dark. It buffs everything. Most of the time when you try to go for lethal, you end on like Wii Witch, Gizmek with Ding, and that's 7950. And with the Nightmare buff, that's lethal. So I decided that it would be a perfect filler. So I just told Josh to play it, and funny enough, it came up more times than it should have.
It came up a lot. Like I used it to OTK twice. It's just very dumb.
Because
like,
made a meme of it online.
Yeah, but then like it's just like really silly. Like if you buff Galatea by 800 and summon this, it becomes 31. Like Ding is 31 alone without a buff. It's just very silly. And like if you do your standard combo, which is like Ding and Nightmare, when you like hard make this into the next turn, like you can like all you have to do is put Ding on board, and then like for like 1 summon, and then go straight to battle phase. So you just can't get Nibiru there as well.
It's also good to note that when it gets destroyed, it just recycles like any dark in your graveyard. So you can just add back your Gizmex, add back any like normal summon so that you can bombard as well. So there's a lot of different interactions. Can add itself back, which is kind of cool.
Just
so,
add back Armageddon Knight.
Armageddon Knight.
Like you just didn't mention the best card to add that.
Yeah, like if you want to get your ding off the board or something, and like you don't really care playing into Nibiru or whatever, you just summon this, and it's just like a wall. And like anything you put on the board gets buffed, and then yeah, it's fine.
Sucks in the mirror though.
Oh, it sucks in the mirror because it boosts all their stuff. But that's whatever. Then just Nightmare Phoenix. Nightmare's really cool because you make Nightmare and you pitch Horror, you pop a card, and then you Nightmare. You use Horror, Special Nightmare, and then you make Unicorn and Unicorn another card because this is dark. This is very relevant. Choose Banya. This card never comes up, but if it does, it's really relevant. That's proof as like online games. But yeah, like you just need this for specific scenarios, you know. And it's a dark, which is like cool. 3 and 1. The second longest was considered, but I think 1 is probably fine. The second one doesn't really come up a lot.
You barely make the first one.
Yeah, I never made the first one. I made the first one once, I think.
I made the first one a few times. There's been a lot of interactions where I just wanted to out the monsters that are on the board, just kind of like grind against them. And in most cases, you can just shuffle it back in anyway. Yeah. The secret is coming up.
So, Boral Sword and Bomber. This card sucks. It's gonna be cut.
Terrible.
It's awful. But Sword is like perfect.
You know, if you're not fearing Nibiru.
Yeah, well, like, if you have an established board already, you can make this card pretty easily, and then you just go in, because you can just like give some extra ding in the battle phase, all that silly stuff. For the fusions, just these two. So if you go first, you make Winder, like ding Winder, and nobody can crack it. If you go second, you just Thousand Eyes people. Thousand Eyes is pretty cool against random decks too. Like you managed to like lynch a Plasma with this. You just like summon it, target the Plasma, and sack it from graveyard for a Link Karibo, and then like the Plasma just goes to the graveyard. So like there's just like ways to play around things with this card. Window also just beats every deck, so that's cool. And then just 2 dings. 2 dings is perfect. Oh. Jeez, Dom. So side deck is we play like the artifact package. It's just these. This is pretty perfect. Like going first against anything, going first against other stuff like Lancia is just good in a lot of matches. There were like a lot of Orcust decks, so like being able to just Lancia them is fine. Like you can't activate Orcust cards and you can't crescendo under Lancia either. But like this card is just so powerful on its own that it just doesn't matter. Like, you just end on ding with 2 materials and Lancia them, and they just can't beat you at all. So.
I found myself signing in the Sanctums by themselves without the artifacts more than I put in the actual artifacts themselves. There's a lot of like decks that would remove back row cards.
Oh, you just
so
you
just naturally pop.
You verse Draco, and because you need to have so many cards to take out, but not so many put in. You just put in 3 of these, and if you set it and they pop it with a heritage, you can just pop a card. It's just really funny. It's kind of like a Regeki break in that scenario.
For free.
Yeah,
It's a 1-for-1.
It's like just a 1-for-1 negate.
Just doesn't negate at all.
Welcome to 2019.
It's 2019. We can play with 2 dads now.
This card's at 2, so you just obliterate people with this. So like, this is just like the most highly oppressive card probably like in the deck by far. So like if you go second against anything in the format, this is like the best way to do. Like I think Chen was playing Pancratops before, and I said, why don't you just play this? And I was like, why do you play this? It's because it's a 2/8 Pancratops that pops 3 cards. Like, I don't see what the problem is.
You banish your links, and that's how you recycle your links as well. So by banishing it off Dad and shuffling back in with Galate, you're able to keep playing through. It just kind of works out better in the grind games as well.
Like theoretically, if this sticks, you can pop an infinite amount of cards, and like it's just because it's large, it's just a lot of pressure on its own, and you just OTK people with this card, and then like because of how manipulative the graveyard is, like every card banishes itself, every card is recyclable. Like there is no point in the match where like this card is dead, pretty much. Like if you're playing correctly.
Also, outside can only be 1.
It does, because it's a dragon as well. So you drop it into there, can only be 1, and crack people. It's pretty silly. 3 of this card. So Chen was playing Mind Controls up to beforehand, and I said we should play this card. And I believe we established that I was pretty correct.
I'm still correct in like everything else though.
No, this card's really dumb. So like I feel good there'd be a lot of Rogue and like Pendulum, and like this just covers all those matches. And then like also the BA deck that some of the guys at Rocko were working on was just very, very dumb. They just end on like Crescendo, Appaloosa, Beatrice, Dengisu, like all this like stupid silly shit. Dweller. You just go to main phase, you Cosmic the Crescendo, and you Dark Roll them and they concede. It's just really funny. You just and there was also one guy here running around playing the Vanity's Ruler Turbo deck. So this just outs that. This is a good card all around, I think. And I think it's just much better than Mind Control. And just 3 twins. It's just very standard. You need like cards that make like unfair decks fair. So like set 5 decks, you just twin them and they can't beat you. You just twin them and drop dad and they lose. Alright, that's it.
Guys, any shout-outs from Weird Elf?
All the shoutouts. TBK, obviously. Everybody who's watching. No. So yeah. Carl's Auction House.
Yeah. Shout outs to Joseph as well, who I lost him in the finals. He played really well. And
Oh my gosh.
Didn't play better, that's all.
The deck was so scary. I was watching that, man.
Made it all the way. It was
Just
pretty
like
good.
getting a beard, that's fine. Still in main phase. Dark Lore, Plasma, go. Don't care.
Played really well.
Yeah.
That's it.
Alright,
Shout out to
guys.
everyone else.
Alright, guys. Thanks for the profile. We'll catch you guys later.